Hey, what's up, class? Um, so I did want to give you like a kind of guide for the chapter how to read a true or how to tell a true war story. This is one of the coolest chapters in the book, but before you start reading, I want you to recall a couple things, right? Recall how in the very first chapter we hear about Ted Lavender's death from a variety of different angles, and recall like kind of the connections we made to that. The difference is we saw that through Jimmy Cross's eyes. This one, we're going to see a similar structure where a series of like stories are kind of told and connected together to create a larger whole. But the speaker in this chapter is Tim O'Brien talking in the present, trying to tell us, you and me, how to tell a true war story. Also, keep in mind the word tell can be as in to tell, as in like how to tell one, and also how to spot tell one, like spot one. So just there's a lot of cool things that are happening in this chapter. I do want you to get an idea of like kind of the questions you're going to be asked when you talk about this with people. So if you're watching this video today, you're going to talk about it tomorrow. Um, if you're, wait, no, never mind. Strike that, forget that, ignore it. If you're watching this, then there are some questions I want you to write your answer to and then evaluate the conversation. But if you're in my remote class, watch this today. You're going to talk about it tomorrow. So check it out. Here are the questions that you're going to look at. We're going to use this proficiency scale box, or this proficiency scale. This is how your like concept map and essay are going to be graded at the end. Um, so I'm a really academic, like a grade level conversation. You'll hear these things. Um, you'll clearly connect the structure of a text, like the order of events, the manipulation of time, like what events are included, excluded, and reference each other, like callbacks, like flashbacks, flash forwards, and motifs and stuff. How those help to develop a theme. If your conversation sounds like you're doing that, and you hear a clear like argument emerge from your conversation, if you use the italicized words down here in your conversation, if you cite specific and relevant evidence, and if you talk like 10th graders, and I mean talk like back and forth, okay? Asking follow up questions is going to be helpful here, then you should get an A on this. If you're asynchronous today, like if you're in the A cohort, or if you're in my remote class, we're going to have this conversation tomorrow. A cohort, I want you guys to write your answers. All right. So what I want you to focus on this in this chapter is threefold. Okay. One, the narrator retells the story of a guy named Kurt Lemon's death several times in a recursive structure, and you can click on that to see what it means. I want you to notice, like when Kurt Lemon dies, by my count, there are 6 times Kurt Lemon dies. Whoops, typo. Second, there is a story about a baby buffalo. I want you to ask yourself, like, some of these kinds of questions, right? Um, with the buffalo, like, notice that buffalo. What might it symbolize? And notice how it's treated. Right? Really focus on each detail. And remember, if it's a symbol, you can read the sentence and you can replace buffalo with whatever it symbolizes. So if the buffalo symbolizes love, you can say, how was the love treated? And it kind of makes sense. That's a good way to test if your interpretation makes sense. And the third, and this is challenging, this one I want you to like focus on. By the end of your discussion, you're going to end up going through the characteristics of a true war story, and you should have discussed what truth means in the context of a war story. And I want you to write notes for this. The question is actually here. Based on the descriptions, discussions, and vignettes in the chapter, what are the characteristics of a true war story? And what does truth mean? Then I want you to consider the statement. And then here are some quotes to consider in your discussion as you ask these 2 questions. Then at the end, I am going to ask you to self-assess and reflect. Okay, this activity, this discussion is there's a lot to it. Okay, there's a lot of different parts, and your task as students is to talk about these parts, having come to the discussion prepared, so that you can analyze an author's organization, um, of an analysis or a series of the series of events and ideas. Okay. That's that's what I want you to be looking for as you read How to Tell a True War Story. Right. This is one of the key chapters in the book. Like if you skip the other ones, you can start here. It'll make less sense, but like definitely read this chapter. Do not miss it.